Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Sketchdom. My name is Jason Sketch, and I'm super excited to bring you guys more Marvel Champions content. Today, we're going to be checking out a new article for the Fear No Evil expansion set, talking about the new hero, Daredevil. Let's head on down to the table and check out some new cards. Alright guys, welcome down to the table. I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys are as well. We're going to be checking out Matt Murdock, Daredevil today. And this article came as a surprise. They dropped it on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday, so it threw me off when it came up. But I'm glad it's here now. We're going to do our normal routine where we're going to walk through the cards that they revealed for us. And that'll be it. Yeah, pretty much we're just talking about the cards. Y'all can read the article yourselves. I am a believer in your reading skills. So let's jump over and check things out. First and foremost, we have Matt Murdock, excuse me, his recovery of 3 alter ego form. He's got the attorney trait, which is I haven't seen in a while, or it's relatively new. Matt Murdock begins the game with a sense deck. See rulebook page 26. So we'll find out more about that. But I imagine the sense deck, just the way that it talked about it and described it, it's going to be a lot like the Doctor Strange deck, where it's kind of set off to the side, doing its own thing. Forced Interrupt. When a sense upgrade would leave play, place it on the bottom of the sense deck instead. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind as well. The red here is very interesting. Makes me feel very aggression and everything that we're looking at today. I do like the Daredevil head down here. Beautifully done. Fun piece of art. Let's move forward. Awesome. Next, we have Daredevil himself. And this artwork is fire. I actually like it quite a bit. Getting the double D there. He's a 2/2/2, by the way. Really, really good. So that's nice because both he and Echo then are just kind of be able to do a variety of different things, which is super awesome. He's got Defender and Martial Artist as well. Superhuman Senses. Action. Play the top card of the Sense deck as if it were in your hand, paying its cost. So you can do that, and you can do that as many times as you want, as long as you can afford it, I guess. Force Interrupt. When a Sense upgrade would leave play, place it on the bottom of the Sense deck instead. Awesome. So you're going to want to be able to find a way to pay for all the costs of these different cards, and hopefully not spend your entire hand just playing his Sense deck out. So that's going to be something to be paying attention to. We'll find out what his sense deck is in a second. He does have a hand size of 5, 10 HP, and he has a hand size of 6 in his alter ego. All right, let's check out the next spot. This artwork, I do like it a lot. This is going to be a fun one to see on the table. It's just really neat. All right, so we're going to be diving into his 5-card sense deck. So let's check those cards out. It's Accurate Tenacity is the very first one. You pay 1 cost. Sense or Superpower. So Def Focus may be helpful for this. Attached to an enemy or scheme. Interrupt. When you defeat attached enemy or remove the last threat from the attached scheme, discard this card. Ready your identity. This gets you some readies in. That's really nice. It's a nice little upgrade that you can attach to something that you're like, cool, I'm about to pop this, kill it, take it out. Or something else when you defeat those. So if somebody else defeats it, unfortunately, you don't get the ready off of it. So you got to be the one taking care of it. So there'll be a little bit of controlling some minions or controlling some side schemes that you want to kind of be thinking about as you're playing Daredevil. I wonder if that's going to impact too many people too much. We'll find out. But it's a nice little card. Next is Enhanced Olfactation. Enhanced Olfactation. That's a fun word to say. Looks like he's using his smelling ability, though. So Sense and Superpower attached to an enemy or scheme. When you defeat attached enemy or remove the last threat from attached scheme, discard this card. Reduce the cost of the next card you play this phase by 2. Now I'm curious, right? Like it's these cards, it sounds like you as the player have to be the one defeating it. Or Daredevil has to be the one defeating these things, not somebody else. Or you won't get the benefits that come with them. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with that or if you have a different thought process for that. By the way, both this art is, I don't know why it's highlighted like that. Oh, no. Okay. I don't know why it was highlighted like that. The art's pretty neat, but I really like the art on this one with the colors coming through and getting to see the blue and yellow colors or blue and green colors. That is really, really cool art. This is really neat. Next one is Radar Sense, which is really cool. Kind of gets an idea what the room looks like. This reminds me of the animated Spider-Man series. We get to see some of this in the animated Spider-Man series, which is pretty cool. Sense and Superpower again. Attached to an enemy. Response. After you attack attached enemy, discard this card. Deal 3 damage to that enemy. which is nice, right? So you're going to be playing it on, you can play this on the villain and do an extra 3 damage to him. You can play it on one of the minions and, someone that you're going to punch and then do 3 damage to. There's good things that this card can do for you. For a 1 cost is not too terrible. And then you can stack it with cool, I defeated somebody, so now I get to ready type thing as well. Really neat card. I like that extra 3 damage you kind of push. I just have a flavor text there that says the accident that cost Matt his eyesight gave him a new radar-like sense. So he's like a bat. Pretty cool. Next one, you still get to see that radar a little bit, but it's a heightened hearing. So, attached to an enemy. When attached enemy attacks, discard this card. The enemy gets -3 attack for this attack. You become the target of that attack. This is going to be really cool for like a protection type build. You can put that on the villain. Now it gets -3 on his attack against you. And then you get a chance to like recycle this card over and over again, I feel like. It's going to be something that you can kind of replay out there every turn, as long as you're willing to pay 1 resource cost to make it happen. That is a really cool hero interrupt, and to get a -3 attack, and you become the target of the attacker. That's pretty cool. Last but not least, we have Superior Taste. So he's licking something. That's kind of a gross card, not going to lie. We don't know what's going on there. It looks like he's licking a cigarette butt to me, but it could be something else. But attached to a scheme. After you thwart attached scheme, discard this card, remove 2 threat from that scheme. So you can stack this on to the main scheme. So every time you remove threat, you can do 2 more threat at the end of that threat removal, which is pretty good. Or you can attach it to another side scheme that you want to clear pretty quickly. There's a lot of cool benefits you get from this, especially with like some of those side schemes being 4 cost side schemes or 4 threat side schemes. Now it is interesting, and I want to take note of this, right? Because we noticed this in like Spectrum and some other heroes that kind of have these cards that are not quite attached to the deck themselves. He does have resources, mental resources, an energy resource, and a fist resource on each of these sense cards. So I'm kind of curious what that indicates, if we will be able to play off of those at all. So far, the cards we've seen do not give any indication of that. But I do find it interesting, just thinking of like Spectrum, where you can use the resource value of whatever form she's in, pay for something. There's a card that lets you do that. And so I'm kind of curious if something like Sense will let you do the same thing, where cool, depending on what upgrade you have out there, or pick an upgrade that's out there, discard that upgrade, you can use that resource cost to pay for something. So I imagine there's something going to be like that to that effect. Maybe not 100%, but it's a thought process, right? I'm not exactly sure. They haven't explained the full Sense deck yet and how it functions and works. But right now, I imagine it's like not Daredevil. I imagine it's like a Doctor Strange type extra deck that sits up on the side that you can interact with as you play. Which is nice because these are all 1 cost. So cool. I have 1 resource left in my hand. I can spend 1 cost to pay the top card of the Sense card deck. Do multiple different things with it. You can call to action on somebody else's turn to play a Sense card out in hero form and stack some different Sense cards out there that'll be beneficial along the way. That's pretty neat. All right. That's his entire Sense deck. We're going to move into some of his actual hero kit cards. So let's dive into those. First and foremost, we have Cross-Examination. It is a 1 cost card. It's him punching Bullseye. That's a pretty neat card. I thought it was a cop at first, but it's punching Bullseye. The second card, right? And I imagine he's got 2 or 3 of these. But it's deal 3 damage to enemy. For each upgrade attached to that enemy, you may deal 1 additional damage to it. Now, I think this is really neat, because you're going to play with somebody like, it's each upgrade, right? So now you have these minion upgrades that are out there. You have all these other upgrades you can put onto enemies. You can put the Electro Energy Shield onto an enemy, and it would give you a +1, so you're doing 4 damage for a 0 cost card that just sits on the villain. Cyclops will pair well with him with all the upgrades he puts out there. Iceman would pair well with him with all the upgrades that get put out there. So he gets some really big benefits along the way. I played with Earth Twister the other day, who played an Iceman deck, who put a lot of Frostbites out there. You choose to save this until he's got like 3 or 4 Frostbites on a villain, and then cool, now you're doing 3 plus 4 more damage plus whatever upgrades you've put on that villain as well too. So that is an interesting thought. I like this a lot. The combos that are going to work with just playing with other players. I like this card quite a bit. 3 for 1's not bad, and then getting additional damage on top of that. based on what you've already got in play, is going to make things more exciting. There are some zero-cost upgrades that you can run, too, that will help add extra damage. Great for killing minions, but essentially we'll be doing some pretty decent damage on the villain with the right cards. Living Lie Detector. This is an action. Notice this. This is not a hero action, by the way. This is an action for this thwart, so he can do it in hero or alter ego form, which is interesting. It is a thwart card. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. For each upgrade attached to that scheme, you may remove 1 additional threat from it. So playing some cards that will attach to schemes, upgrades that will attach to schemes, is going to be something that will be probably beneficial in the long term. I don't remember any off the top of my head. I know there's one in aggression that you can attach to a side scheme that makes it where you can use your attack value instead of your thwart value when you thwart from that specific scheme. But I don't know how well and how often that's going to be used in a deck, but we'll probably see some of that. Thump, 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 thump. Though that is pretty cool. That's the oh, he's hearing a heartbeat if you listen to it. Thump, 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 thump. That's pretty cool. So he's able to use that though. He's checking. He's a lie detector. That's why that flavor text is there. That makes way more sense. Jason, you're catching up with the rest of everybody else. Good job, Jason. All right. So the lie detector though, that's really neat. I think that's a really cool threat card or thwart card, and it can be done on either side, which is nice because it's nice to be able to flip down and go, cool, I want to flip down, and okay, some threat got put on. I want to stay down so I can clear some more threat and move forward. So that is really neat. Kind of makes me curious. We're going to flip back to some of his Sense deck stuff real quick. The ones that clear off scheme. This one's a response, not a hero response. This one's a response. This one's an interrupt. So some of these, this is an interrupt too. So some of these can be triggered in alter ego. The only one that has to be done in hero is the heightened hearing, and that is because you're getting attacked. So that is interesting. Okay. So he's going to be able to play on either side some of his stuff, which is really cool. I like that you're going to be able to do stuff in both sides and not really worry too much about having to flip back and forth. You can flip back and forth and still be able to do some actions. That is super nice. Disposition, which you probably don't want to be an alter ego anyways, because here's an alter ego action. Thwart. You may choose any upgrade from the Sense deck and play it, ignoring its resource cost. Do not shuffle. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Interesting, do not shuffle. So you can pick any card, put it back in, you don't shuffle it, you just put it back down. And then you can clear 2 threat from a scheme. This is an event card. And you get to play out your Sense deck and play it. You may choose and play it. Do you have to pay, ignoring its resource cost? So you're paying the resource cost to do the disposition and do this in alter ego. This is pretty cool, actually. Tell us everything is a flavor text from Matt Murdock. And it looks like that's Karen Page there on the end, though I could be wrong. I like this, though. This is really neat. It's a cool piece of art. And it's just it's fun to get to see him do things as a lawyer and as a superhero. So, and he's clearing threat while you're an alter ego doing this. So it may be worth your while to play as a lawyer instead of playing as a superhero. Vigilante. Then we've got this awesome The Man Without Fear upgrade. I believe this is the last card. No, we'll get to see a few more. I think we get a couple more after this. But it is an upgrade, which I thought was super neat. And you play it on your table. You exhaust this card. It's a hero action and deal 1 damage to Daredevil. Choose any upgrade from the Sense deck and play it, ignoring its resource costs, or ready Daredevil. So there's going to be some choices you get to make. You're going to want this card down probably pretty quickly onto the table. Looks like a fun card. We have his player side scheme. 0 cost side scheme. Threat cannot be removed from this scheme except by Daredevil or Matt Murdock. When defeated, you may move any number of Sense upgrades in play to other cards they can attach to. Choose any number of upgrades from the Sense deck and put them into play. So you can rotate these around. It costs you 4 threat. You want to get this out there, and you probably want to cycle this card quite a bit to get your sense deck moving super often. Super often? A lot. So, unfortunately, currently we don't see a... but even then, I was going to say like a J. Jonah Jameson, like from Silk's player kit. We don't see anything like that in here that will help with this. So, still a really neat card. I like the artwork here. Super, super duper awesome. Super, super cool. I think it's a great card. 0 cost. Focus the senses. Getting the senses out there. I think it's just really well designed. Foggy Nelson is a support you get. He also does stuff in Alter Ego. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. And so I'm kind of curious, can you use Foggy to help with this? Because threat can't be removed from here except by Daredevil or Matt Murdock. So because it's based on his power, I guess that's why Foggy can't remove threat. But even then, being able to sit in Alter Ego, he can still clear 2 threat from a scheme. Remove 2 threat. Let me see. Yep, cannot be removed from this scheme except by Daredevil or Matt Murdock. And so Foggy won't be able to help with this, but he can still clear threat from other things, so you can focus on that if you need to in Alter Ego. Everything's okay now, Matt. Or Fog is on it. Old Fog is on it. Everything's okay now, Matt. Old Fog is on it. Perfect. What a fun. Clear text there. Just curious. It's not a hero action, so it can be done in Alter Ego. Nelson and Murdoch is another support we're going to see. This is a fun piece of art here, kind of getting to see a little bit of their attorney office and things like that as well. So location response after an attorney character or support defeats a side scheme, confuse an enemy. Which is nice, right? So maybe we'll get a Karen Page out there, as well as being an attorney as Matt Murdock. This will help out too, to be able to defeat side schemes. You can confuse an enemy so you can stay in Alter Ego a little bit longer. And then Foggy can also help with that too. So there's a chance to use confusion to your benefit to be able to flip down more often, to stay down in Alter Ego, to focus on some other things or getting your cards leveled up or whatever else you want to do. It's a pretty cool, that's a pretty neat card. All right, so next we're going to jump into, which is interesting because there's going to be one more card that's in his hero kit as well. We're going to jump down to some of his player aspect cards. So we got Justice. Blind Spot's the first one we're going to see, who is a martial artist. After Blind Spot thwarts, confuse an enemy with an upgrade attached. So great. So having him and any character that can put out upgrades is going to be nice. He's also got the Genius trait and the Martial Artist trait. So that's going to be fun. I wonder if we're going to get some more benefits for Genius traded characters. Blind Spot, Sam Chung is his name. So I don't know if I know this hero hardly at all, but that is pretty cool. His title is I'm Invisible, but I'm still here. Chinatown is where I live, and I'm going to protect it. Cool. That is a neat card. He's a nice Justice card. He's got an energy resource. I thought we saw Elektra at some point. Maybe she's next. No, we're still looking at aspect cards right now. Oh, Elektra's going to be at the end there, so we'll dive into that here in a second. So next to the aspect cards is your Justice. Another Justice card you're going to see, a Justice event. Know your enemy. It's 1 cost, but it reduces the cost by 1 if you have the Martial Artist trait. Hero action, thwart. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. So that's pretty cool. So you get to clear 2 threat from different places. I don't need to see to know your next move, Iron Fist. I don't know if I like or don't like this card. I think being able to clear 2 threat, and sometimes it's just nice, like a couple of schemes have like 1 threat left on them, and it feels like a waste to use 2 threat removal on them. This card is not a bad card for that, and it costs you nothing to play it. I'm curious how often I'm going to see this card in play and what characters is going to work well for, because for sure we've got it on like Matthew Murdock, maybe Echo, but I don't know what other characters. Maybe, of course, Iron Fist will come out later this year, and Iron Fist is on the card, so he'll probably be able to connect to it. Do we have any current heroes right now that this card would work well for? I am not sure. I do like it, though. I like Iron Fist a lot. I think it's a neat card. But, I don't know. I just don't know how often I'm going to play this card. What do you guys think about it? Same thing here. Legal Troubles is an upgrade. the discount. So again, it costs me 0 to have if I have the Attorney or Police trait, which means Tiger is going to be able to play this, by the way. Attached to a minion. So this is an upgrade that you can attach, by the way, which is going to be helpful for like Blind Spot and some other things. We don't really have any Justice upgrades that attach that often, but it is going to benefit you along the way. On top of that, some of Daredevil's cards build off of playing from upgrades on minions. Do we have more upgrades that go on minions? This is the first one I remember off the top of my head. But attached minion gets -2 scheme. Even better. So it just sits there and can't scheme for most minions. Most minions have 2 scheme on it. And you get to pay this for free. This is a wild card. This will be super helpful for our Tiger fans that want to play Injustice. Because then you can flip down with Tiger, get your 6 cards, flip back up, and do some more crazy things up there. Plus, this feels really powerful with her cop theming. And there is Beat Cop that probably compare well with this card. So, I like it. Legal Trouble. That's pretty cool. De-escalation. This, I think, is a beautifully designed card. 0 cost, victory 0. The civilian on here says, I can see my house from here. And she's being lifted by She-Hulk, right? But when defeated, remove an acceleration token from play. Let me say it again. When defeated, remove an acceleration token from play. This is just a nice card where things are starting to get a little out of hand. You can clear it for 4 threat removal. And at larger game points, it's not too bad. And remove an acceleration token from play. Your Deadpool friends are going to be a little upset that you play this card, but I think it is a helpful card in the long term. There's a couple of times where just too many acceleration tokens can cause a problem and spike your level of threat on a scheme. So I like it. I can see myself running it and just having it as a nice 0 cost player card that just gets tossed out there to have as a backup, especially to give like myself as a Justice player something to do or to help out the team in the long term. So you just want to make sure you're playing it at a crucial time. It also is a fist resource, so it has its benefits for the right minions and heroes and different cards to get in play. Stealth Training, which is a pretty cool, I believe this is Elektra in Daredevil's costume, but it's still a Daredevil, right? Play under any player's control, max 1 per phase player. So you can pass this out to your friends. After you thwart and exactly defeat a side scheme. Which is why that 1 cost card is going to be probably come into nice to help with that, to do exactly the amount of threat left on the scheme. Exhaust Stealth Training and stun an enemy. Being able to toss some stun cards out there is not a bad deal. I can see this card getting really used quite a bit. And now that this combos with the previous card where it's like, it's a 1/1, what's the big deal? And to be able to toss a stun out there on the villain, to be able to toss a stun out there on a scary minion, that's actually super good. That's actually really, really good. It's a nice little combo. I can see getting utilized quite a bit. I'm excited for that. I believe we're at the tail end of we are at the tail end of the aspect cards. Next, we're going to dive into something about the team up. So, our team up card is either appearing next or the ally in which the team up card applies to is going to come up next. So, it is the ally, and it is Elektra. Elektra Nat Choice. The choice. If I said that name wrong, let me know. Let me know how to say it in the comments. It's a 3 cost ally with 1 thwart and 2 attack. And 3 health points. Defender, martial artist. Now, here's what I like a lot about this character. And I think it makes for a very interesting... It's going to make for some very interesting builds. She's going to do well in Sidekick. Oh my gosh, she's going to do so good in Sidekick. For the benefit of this, when Elektra would take any consequential damage, Daredevil takes that damage instead. Consequential damage. That means you can have her continue to attack for 2. You can Voltron this hero, this ally, and have her be the main person while Daredevil's doing some stuff on the side. She is going to not die. I believe she's going to do well. In fact, don't need your protection, Matt. She's a wild resource. I'm excited to get to Voltron this Elektra card and just see what we can do with it. She can probably attack for quite a bit. And I think it's going to be fun to Voltron her both in aggression and in leadership. Though playing her in Sidekick leadership is probably going to be a wild endeavor. And it's a really cool piece of art for Elektra, by the way. I do really like that design, where she's not quite in her regular Elektra garb, but some really cool clothing there. And so he kind of reminds me a little bit of Red Dagger from Miss Marvel's kit. But I like the way this card plays, and it is interesting because it's the idea is that they're getting in each other's way, and so Daredevil's trying to protect Elektra, and Elektra's like, I don't need your help, but he's taking all the damage that she would take from her attacks and things like that. And so that is pretty cool. I'm excited to get to play this ally specifically and to talk about her in Sidekicked, Marvel Champions podcast. If you haven't followed us yet, check us out. All right, so here comes the team-up card, and it's the last card we're going to look at today. Dance with the Devil. It is an upgrade card. So first team-up card that I know of that is an upgrade card. It's not an event, it's an upgrade. Which does add the wonderful hazard icon here. I don't know if that's the right icon word, but it is an icon in which you get they get an extra, the enemies get an extra boost for everything that they do. But is you play it down, attached to an enemy, discard this card. Deal 3 damage to attached enemy. So, 0 cost card, and you have to have two of them out there. Elektra's going to come with this card too, which makes me wonder if Elektra's going to also play off of the idea of upgrades. And it's a toss-up, right? Because it's a 0 cost upgrade. You can have Daredevil do a lot of stuff with that 0 cost upgrade without having to discard this card. So, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I think it's going to be a very interesting card. Let's talk Daredevil, because we're at the tail end of his cards here. I'm excited for him. I'm not as excited for him as I am for Echo. I think we're going to get a lot more play lines out of Echo, but I like the thinking process that we're going to get out of Daredevil. I know for a fact that when Daredevil comes onto the scene, we're going to see a lot of clips and videos about him. And people are going to be super excited to get to play him and to be playing him. So don't be afraid to jump down to that table and check him out. The Sense deck is a very interesting way to think through the game. His kit overall, I mean, if we go back and look, she's expensive, right? But most of his cards, we're seeing like these are 0 cost cards for him, basically. He's expensive. The allies are really the only expensive part of his kit. Everything else is either 1, 2, or 0 cost. So the idea there is that you're going to be spending some stuff from your Sense deck and then spending some from your hand. The Sense deck just adds for a broad option of things to do. You're not going to end up with a dead hand necessarily. You just may not get to do some of the cool things you want to do on a turn. I'm excited to try him in some different aspects. I'm excited to see what he plays in each aspect. Right now, Leadership is probably the top one on my list, though he's got some pretty neat Justice cards that I want to check out. Hoping we get to see a few more things in Justice that more than just these 2 cards. Because, I mean, like, Blind Spot and then this Side Scheme are okay, but I feel like there's got to be something more in his kit that makes him run a little bit better. He's probably running a couple of cards in his kit, though, that have Kingpin on them or something that we've already seen. So, though this Stealth Training card, I do like it quite a bit. It is interesting that it has to be the exact amount to trigger it, but it is a good card for stunning in a Justice deck, which is actually super nice. So, overall, I think this is going to be a fun character. I am excited to play Daredevil. I hope you guys are as well. What do you guys think? What would you guys have liked to have seen more? What are you excited to see here soon? Hopefully some content creators are going to get a chance to do some reveals here. And we'll get to see a few more videos and different things about some cards coming out. So I'm excited for Daredevil. I think you should be looking forward to this box. This box is going to be super hype. Echo's in it. Echo's stuff is super awesome. Daredevil is going to be a fun character to play. And then I like the way that this campaign is going to run, / all these new villains that we're going to get to interact with, and the way that they coordinate with the main schemes and not being attached to them, so you can choose what you want to do with each one. I think that's pretty cool. So this is going to be a fun box. I'm excited to get to pick up this box. This is probably the most excited I've been since Age of Apocalypse. I did like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this has got some pretty neat aspects to it. So let me know what you guys think. Are you all excited for this box? Are you excited for these heroes? What are you looking forward to most? And did I read something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Do you disagree with some of my thoughts? Let me know everything. But until then, remember, next time, I'll be deadly serious next time. Peace.